Now, when most people pick up a 360 camera, they end up making videos that look like this, a warped, gimmicky, fisheye mess. But if you change just a few settings and rethink how you move, this tiny little camera stops being a gimmick and starts being more like a cinema camera that fits in your pocket. So today, I am putting a ban on tiny planets, and instead, we're going to master the art of cinematic 360 video. Hey everyone, Steve here from Learn Online Video. Today I'm going to be filming everything on the Insta360 X5 to give you a step-by-step guide for getting the most out of your 360 camera. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you what all of this footage and these techniques look like edited into a sequence with music, color grading, and sound effects. A big thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. Now let's dive straight in and talk about a very common problem. Now, in the past, 360 cameras have struggled in tricky lighting. Blown out skies, crushed shadows, and everything would just look cheap and nasty. But the X5 changed that with its larger sensors and 8K resolution. This captures far more dynamic range and detail, giving us the headroom to actually color grade and create cinematic looking shots. But having the gear is just one step. You still need to set it up correctly. Now, most people leave their camera in auto mode and then wonder why their footage looks like a giant dog turd. So here is your cinematic checklist. Resolution, max it out. We want every pixel we can get because we're going to crop in later. 8K 30 frames per second. Color profile. Now switch this to flat. This will look a bit gray and boring, but it will give you much more control when it comes to color grading later. And step number 3, shutter speed. Now this is a big one. Cinematic footage needs motion blur. If you shoot in bright sun on auto, the camera just cranks the shutter speed, making movement look jittery. Just look at these two clips side by side. The one on the left is using auto settings, and the one on the right is using manual settings. If we pause for a second and really look at what's happening, especially outside of the car, the clip on the left is super sharp, almost too sharp. But when things move in real life, we don't see them perfectly crisp like that. Our eyes naturally see a bit of blur. That's why this feels unnatural. Now look at the right. See that motion blur in the movement? That's what makes it feel more natural or more cinematic. This is exactly how our eyes expect motion to look. And the fix to this is actually really simple. You want your shutter speed to be roughly double your frame rate. So if you're shooting at 30 frames per second, your shutter speed should be 1/60. That one change alone can take your footage from looking like security camera footage to something that looks much more smooth and professional. But wait, I hear you ask, won't the image just be too bright? Well, yes, it will. That's why you need ND filters. It is the single most overlooked accessory for 360 cameras. So I'm just going to put these little sunglasses on the lens of the X5 and I'm going to lock that shutter speed, and suddenly our movement looks more like a movie than it does a video game. Okay, step 2, camera movement. Now, camera movement is a crucial part of making your footage look more like something from a feature film than a tourist video. So let's run through a few ways that you can move your 360 camera to get much smoother, more professional looking results. Now, one of the best accessories for this is the extension pole. They come in a couple of different sizes. There's a 1 meter and 3 meter version. Both work well and deliver great results. Now, what's great about these extension poles is that the camera will automatically erase them from your shot, meaning that if you strategically use them, it can look and feel like you have a camera operator following you. You can do this from behind, you can have shots tracking you from the front or the side. Now, the brighter the sun, the more likely you are to get shadows, and that can really give the game away, especially with the selfie stick. You'll notice in this shot here, you can actually see the shadow of the pole as I walk. On cloudy or overcast days, the light is much softer, so those shadows are far less noticeable or disappear completely. So when you can, try to shoot in softer light and always be mindful of your angles. Now, the biggest mistake that beginners make is holding the extension pole right out in front of their face. This just looks like a vlog. To get cinematic shots, we need to fake a camera crew. Now, by extending the 3 meter extension pole fully and holding it high over your shoulder, we mimic a drone following us. The X5's flow state stabilization locks the horizon, so even if you're on uneven ground, the camera camera flies smoothly. Now, speaking of fake drone shots, the 3-meter extension pole is great for this because we don't need to just be capturing shots of ourselves. We can also capture shots of our environment as well. And this works particularly well, especially if you're in a no-fly zone or don't have permission to fly. In the past, I've used this technique at places like Piccadilly Circus, as well as on the streets of Rome. Now, by getting your 360 camera to an elevated position and moving smoothly through your environment, you mimic what looks like a drone shot. We can even add a slight rotation to these shots to mimic an FPV drone. And if we really want to take this to the next level, try moving the camera through a tight space, like this window, for example. Now, I will talk more about how to edit your footage in just a second, but before I do that, I just quickly want to show you a few more shots that will really help transform the look and feel of your 360 videos. And this next one is what I like to call the lookup. And for this, we're simply going to put our camera deep in amongst something with the lens pointing up. We're then going to slowly lift it up to an elevated position, and what we get is this incredibly unique perspective, giving us a really creative and dramatic effect. This also works really well on anything tall. Take this stone wall, for example. I'm going to start with the camera low to the ground and slowly lift it up. Okay, now another great shot to have in your filmmaking arsenal is the reveal, and there are two ways that we can do this. The first is exactly how you would reveal something using a more traditional camera. We're simply going to start with our camera behind something in the foreground and then slide to reveal our location. But if we want to take this to the next level, then we can attach our camera to the 3-meter extension pole, extend it fully, and then start with our camera low to the ground with something in the foreground. Then, when we lift our camera up as high as it will go, we get this incredible reveal shot, adding a ton of production value to our footage. Now, another great way to add some energy and interest to your edit is with a cinematic time-lapse. For this, keep your camera completely still. I like to use a mini tripod like this. Then switch your camera to time-lapse mode with a 2 to 5 second interval and let it roll for at least a few minutes. Now, the real advantage to shooting in 360 is that you can add movement in the edit. Try adding a pan from left to right or a tilt down to reveal your focal point. Now, by default, all of the shots that I've just shown you won't come out looking like this. We need to edit them correctly and fix the distortion. This is the secret sauce. So I've imported all of my clips into Insta360 Studio, which is free editing software, by the way. And by default, the software gives us this wide fisheye view, which just screams 360 camera. We want to change the field of view to de-warp or linear. Now, just look at the difference. This is the original image, and this is with de-warp. Suddenly, vertical lines are straight. This now mimics a 16 to 24mm lens. We could even add some cinematic bars to this to really help it feel more like a movie. I will put a link to where you can download some free cinematic bars in the description below. Now, very importantly here, okay, use keyframes to operate the camera and change the direction in which it's pointing. This step will either make or break your edit. Take this lookup shot, for example. With the camera pointing towards me, this is just a random clip of a guy with a long stick, but point the camera upwards and add a keyframe with a slight rotation, and all of a sudden we have a much more professional and cinematic looking shot. We can frame our shot however we like, add a keyframe, skim forward, adjust our framing, and then add another keyframe. Now, if you're new to editing 360 video, just start nice and simple and frame the shot pointing towards your main focal point. Then start to experiment. Try adding a tilt down to reveal your subject. The possibilities are literally endless when it comes to 360 video. The key is to practice and experiment. So, with our footage de-warped and our framing adjusted with keyframes, we now get a much more professional looking result. Do this to all of your clips, color grade and add some music, and we now have this. see, you can get some incredible results using a 360 camera, but only if you take control of it. If you want to see exactly how to edit a cinematic 360 sequence just like this, then be sure to check out this video here where I'll show you exactly how. And if you'd like to check out the exact same 360 camera that I've used in this video, the X5, I will link this below. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.